Hello, everyone. Thanks for joining us this evening. I am Tatiana Bednarska, Certified Food Nutrition Manager at Ivan Franko Long-Term Home, and I am pleased to welcome you on behalf of Ivan Franko Homes. Я Тетяна Беднарська, і мені припала велика честь привітати вас від імені Івана Франка. Our webinar is expected to run for an hour this evening, including a question and answer session. If you would like to send a question in at any time, please do so by using the Q&A section at the bottom of your screen. This webinar will be recorded and made available to you on our website. This evening's presentation is part 13 of an Ivan Franko webinar series, bringing relevant and timely information to our Ivan Franko home community. Today's topic, nutrition for the elderly, is particularly relevant for us to explore with the aging population of our residents and unique nutritional needs of this age group. Stay tuned to learn more about screening and assessment tools, dietary intervention, and how to address malnutrition in the elderly. Staying informed is an important factor in supporting our family members in their journey with navigating their nutritional needs. It's my pleasure to welcome our guest speaker this evening, Nadia Malik. She is a registered dietitian at Ivan Franko Long-Term Home in Toronto. Nadia has been practicing as a registered dietitian for over 10 years. She is an active member with Dietitians of Canada. Nadia has a passion of seniors nutritional care as she has worked with many long-term care across GTA. Nadia, we are so pleased to have you this evening. Welcome.
Hello, everyone. Let me share my screen. Thanks, Tatiana, for this wonderful introduction. And thank you, everyone, whoever make the time to attend this live webinar session. As you all know, that I'm Nadia, the registered dietitian at Ivan Franko Home. It's truly an honor to be here with you today, especially during the month of nutrition, a time we celebrate annually in March each year. So we just celebrated Dietitian's Day on March 20th, and this month holds particular significance for dietitians across Canada, as it highlights our role as regulated healthcare professionals dedicated to bridging the gap between a complex nutritional science and accessible, understandable information for all. So the topic of our webinar, my presentation, is nutrition for the elderly. And today I'm going to cover the topics of importance of addressing malnutrition, screening and assessment tools. We will going to discuss also dietary interventions for malnutrition, and in the end, we will conduct some question and answers at the end. So for some context, you may already be familiar with the concept of malnutrition. So let's reiterate that what exactly is malnutrition? Malnutrition is defined as the deficiencies, excess, or imbalances in an individual's intake of energy or the nutrients. So let's discuss our first topic of importance of addressing malnutrition. Good nutrition is important at any age. Eating well helps you feel your best each day. Eating healthy will help to prevent or manage heart disease, diabetes, osteoporosis, and some cancers. Older adults living with seniors living can be an increased risk of unintentional weight loss and malnutrition. Both have an impactful influence on individuals' overall health and quality of life. So it's been seen in the researches shows that over 200,000 Canadians currently reside in residential long-term care facilities. The majority of these residents are aged 80 years or older. It's important to note that about 2/3 of residents are diagnosed with dementia and 1/3 experience severe cognitive impairment. Additionally, many residents have health conditions that are managed through specific dietary requirements. For example, approximately 1/4 have been diagnosed with diabetes, and nearly 2/3 have hypertension. Half of the residents require texture-modified diets due to difficulties with their chewing and swallowing. Sadly, many residents are at risk for malnutrition and dehydration. This is a significant concern because malnutrition and dehydration can lead to various complications, including an increased risk of falls, infections, skin breakdown, poor wound healing, hospital admissions, and overall morbidity and mortality. It's crucial to recognize that the quality of life for these residents is greatly influenced by their mealtime experience and individual nutritional status. So let's discuss about screening and assessment tools to identify the malnutrition. Older adults are at a risk of poor nutrition and a nutritional intake causing weight loss due to a variety of reasons, including physical, psychological, and social changes along with the factors associated with that. So let's take a look of each component separately. So I would like to discuss with the dentation that it's a condition of teeth significantly impacts in chewing ability and consequently in nutrient intake. Look for signs of dental issues that may hinder proper chewing in long-term care. It has already been noticed that residents have 75 to 85% less chewing efficiency due to underlying health conditions. Decreased intake of meat, fruit, and veggies could lead to iron, vitamin C, and folate deficiencies. Motor control is another component which could be associated with poor intake. Impaired motor skills can affect an individual's ability to prepare and consume food independently. Assess motor control for any difficulties in handling utensils or reaching for items. Sensory changes, it has changes in taste or smell, can have a profound effect on appetite and food enjoyment. So be observant of any alterations in sensory perception that may influence the individual's dietary preferences. Health condition, certain health condition can directly impact appetite and nutrient absorption. Consider how underlying health issues may contribute to poor intake. Medication, some medication can also cause side effects like nausea, loss of appetite, or dry mouth, all of which can affect food intake. Review the individual's medication list for any potential impact on appetite or taste perception. Lastly is the social factor, like psychological factor, which has depression. It is important to be aware of signs of depression, as this mental health condition can profoundly affect appetite and motivation to eat. Addressing underlying depression is essential for improving nutritional intake. So, and another aspect of psychological is dementia. Individuals with dementia may struggle with mealtime behaviors or forget to eat altogether. Understanding how dementia impacts eating habit is essential for providing appropriate support and ensuring adequate nutrition. Third factor is like the social isolation. Isolation can lead to loneliness, which may impact appetite and meal enjoyment. Consider the impact of social connection on dietary habits, which is one of the example is COVID-19 pandemics has introduced unique challenges such as reduced social interaction, which were impacted their social status. Understanding these challenges is essential for developing strategies to support nutritional intake during these unusual times, which we experienced recently or last couple of years. Most of our residents experience that, and some of the home are still experiencing that. So moving forward, I would like to discuss with the assessments of weight status. Monitoring weight fluctuation is important as it can indicate changes in nutritional status or underlying health conditions. Moving on to skin appearance, we are looking for any signs of wounds, skin tears, or pressure ulcers. This may be a sign of poor nutrition or problems with the mobility. Next, we will assess the mental health status. Cognitive function and mood plays a significant roles in individuals' nutritional intake. Chewing and swallowing assessment, any difficulties in these areas can impact nutritional intake and require attention. Bowel and bladder function can also give us insight into nutritional health. Changes here may indicate underlying issues affecting nutrition. Understanding the past and present medical history is essential as it helps us identify potential nutritional risk or challenges an individual may face. We also explore dietary history because knowing dietary practice gives important insights into dietary preferences and intake of nutrients. It is important to note the use of medication, particularly laxatives or supplements, as they can impact nutritional status. Lastly, we will consider the individual's activity pattern and frequency, like physical activity levels influence nutritional needs. So assessing these patterns are very vital. By comprehensively evaluating these aspects, we can develop tailored nutritional plans to optimize health and well-being in our geriatric population. So let's move on to our next slide, which is body mass index is a fundamental tool in assessing the nutritional status of elderly individuals. Calculating by dividing weight in kilograms by height in meters squared, BMI serves as an essential indicator of overall health and nutritional well-being. For the elderly population, maintaining an optimal BMI is particularly critical as it helps identify potential risk and vulnerabilities associated with malnutrition. A BMI below 18.5, as you can see over here in the slide also, that range is giving that 18.5 signifies underweight status in the elderly, indicating a heightened susceptibility to various health complications. This includes increased risk of osteoporosis, undernutrition, and weight loss, correlated with declines in bone mineral density. Moreover, individuals with a low BMI are more prone to experiencing protein energy undernutrition, which can lead to frequent hospitalizations and heightened susceptibility to infections and may experience compromise skin integrity. Weight serves as a vital marker in identifying changes in nutritional status among the elderly. Regular monitoring of weight allows healthcare professionals to track fluctuations and intervene promptly in case of significant weight loss or gain. Furthermore, determining nutritional status through weight assessment enables healthcare providers to identify if an individual has experienced a weight loss of less than 10% within a 6 months of period, signaling potential nutritional challenges that require attention and interventions. So let's move on to, after gathering all this the data, we are going to move on to the dietary interventions for malnutrition. So our first most technique could be that optimizing food and fluid intake, which is called the food first approach, is a practice used to help manage poor new dietary intake and the consequence of unintentional weight loss using everyday nourishing foods and beverages. So the majority of residents' nutritional needs should be met by the menu first. Further individual nutritional needs should be met by the nutrient-dense food and beverage interventions if required. So as we age, it is very important to eat a variety of healthy foods to make sure you get enough of the different nutrients. As you can see it here in the slide, that as per Canada's food guide, healthy plate method is also, it's one of the technique that we use in long-term care facility by developing the menus. We keep this plate in our mind that half of the plate should be filled with the vegetables and fruits. And it's very important to choose a variety of vegetables and fruit. Aim for half of the plate, and the portion, another half should be the portion of whole grain foods, and the quarter should be protein-rich foods that you can enjoy. And enjoy a variety of colorful vegetables and fruits, including dark green vegetables such as kale, bok choy each day, orange vegetables such as carrots and sweet potatoes most of the days, whole grain foods such as oats, wild rice, whole wheat pasta, in order to make sure that we have our enough fiber intake. A high calorie, high protein, high energy interventions focuses on increasing protein and energy intake through foods, beverages, or supplements without increasing the volume of the food consumed. So loss of muscle mass, strength, and functions are common part of aging. Adequate protein intake has been shown to positively influence immune status, wound healing, blood pressure, and bone health, while helping to prevent unintentional weight loss. So food and beverages can be fortified with high protein and high energy options. Here are some tips of fortified food and beverages to increase protein and energy intake. Protein foods such as eggs, nuts and seeds, fish and shellfish, beans, peas and lentils, lean red meat, lower fat dairy products such as milk and yogurt, fortified soy beverages, tofu, soybeans, and soy products. So if some foods have become more difficult to eat, we also try choosing and preparing foods differently. For example, the softer textures, in our facility in long-term care, mostly we have different texture modified diet as well, which has mince texture, puree texture. With the same menu, we make it in different texture as well for ease in chewing and swallowing ability. And for the beverages part, try to, as we age, our sense of thirst may decline, but we need to still drink regularly, whether you feel thirsty or not. To stay hydrated, drink throughout the day, and with each meal and snacks, satisfy your thirst with water instead of sugary drinks. So other foods and drinks that can help you hydrated include lower fat white milk, low sodium soups, vegetables and fruits. Unsweetened fortified plant-based beverages is one of the options as well for keeping ourselves hydrated. Here are also some of the examples of plant-based and animal-based protein sources which are recommended for elderly nutrition. to prevent weight loss and muscle mass. For residents unable to fulfill their nutrient requirements solely through dietary intake, oral nutritional supplements offer required, and which is typically available in liquid or powder forms. So residents incorporate these supplements alongside their regular meals to address individual nutritional needs and promote their health objectives. If residents are not meeting their nutritional needs entirely through the menu, so the dietitians can recommend suitable oral supplements which tailor to their specific nutritional requirements. So what is the relationship between a healthy diet and long life? So as you age, you have to adjust to a body that is different from what it was when you were younger. However, these does not apply that you will immediately develop a variety of health problems or diseases. Poor health and low quality of life do not occur naturally as we age. Actually, a lot of individuals consider it to be a happy and productive period. So we may need to adapt the natural aging process and keep our youthful vitality by leading a healthy lifestyle, which can include eating well and exercising frequently. And at Ivan Franko Senior Home, I would like to say that there are many residents who are Ukrainian. We prioritize providing meals that are familiar and comforting, including both Ukrainian and Canadian dishes. This ensures that residents feel at home and connected to their cultural roots, even while residing in a long-term care facility. However, we understand that cultural preferences vary among residents, so it's crucial to offer a diverse range of food options to meet everyone's needs. Research has shown that providing familiar foods in long-term care settings, especially those that meet cultural needs, can have a positive impact on residents' mood and quality of life. One study conducted by a researcher at the University of Alberta focused on the impact of culturally tailored meals on the well-being of residents in long-term care facility. In summary, the study revealed that providing culturally familiar foods to residents, especially those from diverse cultural backgrounds, resulted in increased satisfaction with meals and improved overall quality of life. So residents reported feeling a stronger sense of connection to their cultural heritage and expressed greater happiness and contentment when served food that remind them of home. Moreover, the research is observant that incorporating culturally appropriate meals into the menu not only enhanced residents' emotional well-being, but also contributed to a more inclusive and supportive environment within the long-term care facility. Staff members noted improvements in residents' engagement and social interaction during mealtime, leading to a more positive atmosphere throughout the facility. These findings underscore the importance of considering cultural preference when planning meals in long-term care setting in Canada. So by incorporating familiar foods that reflects residents' diverse background, caregivers can effectively enhance the overall quality of life and well-being of elderly individuals in their care. Moving on to the encouraging socialization during mealtime is also very essential component for forecasting a sense of community and well-being among residents. One effective strategy is to pair residents with close friends at their table to enhance their intake, creating opportunities for meaningful interactions and companionship. The team members should also actively engage with residents during meal service, facilitating conversations and connections. Creating a welcoming and relaxed dining environment further enhances the dining experience. This can be achieved by establishing a calm ambience with warm lighting, playing soft music in dining room or personal rooms, and adding flair to table settings with colored napkins, placemats, and beautiful centerpiece. Additionally, reducing loud noise like dish scraping or kitchen noise contributes to a more enjoyable dining atmosphere. So eating with others not only provide companionship, but also promotes better eating habits. Residents are encouraged to join lunch groups, eat with neighbors, invite family members over, or participate in potluck gatherings with friends. For those living alone, meals can still be enjoyable by trying new recipes, choosing a comfortable place to eat, and playing music during mealtime. Supporting intake beyond food is key for ensuring residents achieve adequate nutrition and assistance with the meal consumption. All meal components should be accessible and within reach, including condiments, cutlery, and straws. Team members can assist with tasks such as spreading margarines and jams on bread. Furthermore, ensuring that cutlery, napkins, and beverages are all within their reach and tailored to individual preferences enhances the dining experience and promotes independence. By implementing these strategies, and considering residents' social, environmental, and physical needs during mealtime, we can create a positive and enjoyable dining experience that enhances overall well-being and quality of life for preventing malnutrition. So helping older adults with their nutrition has many important goals. First, it aims to keep their bodies healthy by making sure they get enough protein and energy to handle any stress. It also wants to help them stay strong and able to do everyday tasks. Nutrition also helps to make sure older adults feel good and happy. Eating well can bring joy and make life better by preventing malnutrition and staying healthy. These efforts can also make them less likely to get sick and help them deal with chronic diseases better. Moreover, by doing these measures, we can manage malnutrition in the elderly. Overall, by helping older adults eat better, we can make their lives healthier and happier. So thank you so much for listening. I hope you learned something new and this was helpful. And if you have any questions and concerns, you can feel to ask. And this is my source of information, which I use in creating this presentation. If you would like to have to see further, you can feel free to go into these websites and get more knowledge and ideas.
Thank you for sharing your presentation with us, Nadia. This was some valuable information which our community will greatly benefit from learning. So
Thanks.
now we will begin our Q&A portion of our webinar, where Nadia will answer some questions sent into the chat box by our participants. Okay. Mhm. Okay, I see some questions coming. First question is it normal for appetite to decrease as a person ages? If so, when does family have to start getting worried?
Mm-hmm. So yes, it's as I mentioned, it's normal part of aging, and if the appetite loss one of the reasons, try to find out the reasons. As I mentioned, there are psychological factors. It could be physical changes. So look up the different signs. What is the reason behind it? So it's always better to consult with a doctor and always look it up, the signs, what is the hidden issues. Weight loss is also one of the factor. Taste of smell of the food, taste of the food, or maybe sometimes some simple thing. Let's say if resident or the person cannot eat properly, maybe some dental issues. It can be fixed, and the person can back on eating healthy or eating well again. So by fixing the small little things can help them eat well.
Thank you, Nadia. We have a few more questions. So next question is, what happens if you don't eat enough protein?
So what happens if we don't eat enough protein? So too little protein intake results in a loss of lean body mass, which is called muscles, because your body will break down the protein. It is already carrying muscles to maintain its function. That's why it's very important that we are eating at least the minimum that our body needs.
Okay, thank you for your answer. Nadia, if you prefer, you can stop sharing your screen and
Okay,
we'll
sure.
proceed
I
with
can stop.
questions.
Yeah, sure. I can stop the screen. Yeah.
Yes. So next question is, for someone with an elderly parent at home who is not a nutrition expert, as a practical matter, what signs should be watching for to direct possible malnutrition issues?
Okay, so what part, so addressing that could be the reason which affect in their intake, weight loss, if there is any immobility, any hint which hinder their eating patterns, anything unusual, look it up the signs, and then address it accordingly. Sometimes the medications which they are on also lost their appetite. If they don't have the energy, maybe some oral nutritional supplements could also help to regain their strength. And it has been seen that if elderly residents or our loved ones, when they go to the hospital due to certain things, they decondition themselves, and then they lost their energy. So temporarily, even nutritional supplements can help, oral nutritional supplements, to regain their energy because of that loss of muscle mass can affect in their daily activity pattern. So once they regain their strength, then they are start liking to eat food, and also try to enhance the food or by adding the extra flavors, spices, whatever they like. Give them their likes, and based on their likes and dislike.
Thank you. Thank you for your answer, Nadia. So next question, how much is one serving of protein?
So one serving of protein is like you can say that by hand method for easy to get to know is like is easy way to know that how much is my one serving of protein is like palm size is one serving, like such as beef or chicken. That one palm size is considered as one serving if you can look it up the visual method, and this much thickness is considered as one serving. And by like gram wise, there are certain food which has foods like in one of my my slide, it shows that let's say egg contains 6 grams of protein, milk has 4 grams of protein in 125 ml, yogurt has 2.6 grams of protein, Greek yogurt has higher protein, like 13 grams in just a small container. So by switching even the yogurt to Greek yogurt, we can boost our protein content. Also, there are some plant-based protein, which has a high number of protein as well. Let's say in tofu, there are 12 grams of protein. Beans has 13 grams of protein. So there are different proteins, and in order to have enough protein, we require 2 to 3 servings in a day with the variety of different protein options.
Thank you. Thank you. We have a few more questions. So next one, what are your recommendations for nutritional supplements like calcium and vitamin D?
Yeah, so both are very important nutrients. Calcium is a mineral that is necessary for life, in addition to building bones and keeping them healthy. And there are certain food sources of vitamin D as well, like egg yolks, margarine, soft fatty fish like salmon has vitamin D in there. But as we grow older, it's very hard to take the food and get the enough vitamin D. So in some cases, with the help of doctor's recommendation, we can get adequate amount of vitamin D. And the ideal dose of take a supplements with which is about 400 international units of vitamin D each day as we grow older, 51 and older. And for calcium, the requirement is about 1200 every day. By make sure that you can have your milk or alternative source to meet adequate needs. Because calcium is also very important, and vitamin D. If there is no vitamin D, then the calcium will not gonna absorb into the body. So and calcium is help in muscle to work the muscle, helps in muscle building, and it's also strength for bones and health and teeth.
Thank you. Nice answer. Cool. Okay, so next question. What are some strategies for optimizing food and water intake in older adults like those living in long-term care?
So I would go with that same thing, that food first approach, like enhancing the nutrient dense food. Make sure that the healthy plate method technique needs to be eat each meals, especially lunch and dinner. Make sure that each plate should have adequate amount of protein. Half of plate should be filled with vegetables and fruit. Make your plate colorful and interesting by adding spices, herbs, and try to have to encourage proper eating schedule, eating meals on time, and healthy snacks in between meals. Always select the healthier food choices versus always snacking also plays important role. It can enhance the calories and protein. So even after meals, have a healthy snacks, like let's say have a yogurt or a glass of milk, and with the fruit. So these interventions can enhances and optimizing the nutritional needs.
Great answer. So a few more questions we have. So now, can you provide insights into the process of obtaining resident feedback on meal satisfaction and preferences, and how this feedback is used to inform menu planning and dietary interventions?
Yeah, so this is what we are practicing in our long-term care, that there always we obtain residents' feedback on meal satisfaction. There is residents' council meeting. We can it happens on regular basis in our long-term care facilities to get insights on their preferences, and we are able to cater their likes and dislikes in order to build up the menus. We can also see the waste plate audits to see if the residents like or dislike certain foods. So this is the common practices we are seeing, and keeping their feedback into mind, we build up our menus.
Okay. Next, our anonymous attendee asking, does Ivan Franko Home have special meals for vegans and vegetarians?
So yes, we have a special menu which is customized for the vegans and gluten-free menus. We have vegan diets and lactose intolerance. So these are the interventions. It's called therapeutic interventions we cater in our facility in long-term care and at Ivan Franko Homes.
Okay, and next question. How does cultural diversity, play a role in meal planning and nutrition management in long-term care facilities?
So yes, like I would say, different cultures have unique dietary preferences, culinary traditions, and food customs. Considering residents' cultural backgrounds allows caregivers to provide meals that are familiar, comfortable, and enjoyable, enhancing their overall dining experience. As I mentioned also in the presentation, that one of the study from University of Alberta, providing familiar foods in long-term care facilities or in the setting, especially those that meet cultural needs, can have a positive impact on residents' mood and quality of life. Recognizing and respecting cultural diversity shows a sense of inclusivity and belongings among residents. By incorporating culturally diverse foods into the menu and celebrating cultural holidays and traditions, long-term care facilities create a welcoming environment that honors residents' backgrounds and identities.
Thank you, Nadia. A few more questions here. So, next one. How are seasonal or traditional cultural events and celebrations incorporated into meal planning and menu offerings within the long-term care facility?
Yes, so I'm giving the Ivan Franko example that we take pride in incorporating seasonal and traditional cultural events and celebrations into our meal planning and menu offerings, from birthdays to Christmas, Easter festivities. We ensure that each occasion is celebrated with special menus that reflects the diversity and heritage of our residents. For example, during Christmas, there are this unique Ukrainian desserts such as, forgive me if I don't pronounce it properly, like srinik, makinik, which is a poppy seed roll, right?
What
And
unique?
yeah, and pepushki donuts, honey cakes. Like these all are now my favorite desserts as well. Like I look forward for that. So yes, we believe that these celebrations are more than just occasions. They are opportunities to create a sense of home and belongings for our residents. By embracing and honoring their cultural traditions, the aim is to uplift their spirits and enhance their overall well-being. So
Thank you. Thank you for your answer. For an elder who medications permit wine, can a glass a few times a week be a benefit?
so
Nice question.
that's a very good question that but yes, technically we are not supposed to put it in our regular menu because this will not reflect as a healthy option. As I mentioned, that we have to boost our hydration from the healthy beverages options. Try to have milk and low fat milk or sugar-free juices. Try to quench your thirst with water, because if we drink with replace it with the wine or alcohol, then of course there is no room for the healthy beverages. But occasionally, I would say that if the family it's required, or the resident's choice to have it, then I think with the doctor permission and within our facility, we can provide them with their limitation, I think, at their own choice. We welcome their choice and we honor their and respect their preference.
Yeah, thank you. We have a few more minutes, so we have a couple more questions.
Okay.
How can fluids be easily incorporated to a diet?
Fluids?
Fluids be easily incorporated to a diet.
So our menu is designed with each meals. We are providing them like the soups, water, juices, milk. We provide it at each meals, 3 meals, and in between we also provide at snack times as well. So we have a snack cart which has always, we have juice, milk, water, tea, coffee, and we make sure that the residents are having it throughout the day. So we make sure that our residents are well hydrated, because there has lots of researches has been shown that the dehydration could lead into the very serious health conditions, like low blood pressure, poor wound healing. So that's why we make sure that each residents meet their hydration needs, and our menu is meeting that needs. About 3,000 to 2,500 to 3,000 ml we are providing at each day, and each resident's requirement is different based on their weight.
Yeah. Thank you, Nadia. Next question. What is the required calorie intake per day for an elderly person in their late 80s?
So it depends on their activity level. If they are mobile, or they can sitting, not the bed bound. So the residents who are 80 plus, the requirement is based on their weight, and we calculated by their 25 to 30 kilocalories per kg of their weight. So there are certain calculations we calculated, and our menu is also meeting their needs. And if the need is not met, then we have certain fortified options as well, in order to make sure that the residents is meeting their 100% of their nutritional needs.
Okay, thank you very much. So another question. If you were to recommend just 3 vitamins or supplements for the elderly, which 3 would this be?
For the recommendation part, I mostly recommend with the doctor consultations, like vitamin D. As I said earlier, that vitamin D is very hard to meet, especially in Canada, where half of the year we don't have sunshine. It's a sunshine vitamin, so we don't have vitamin D always all around year. So vitamin D is something which we required, and but this is something which is suggested by the doctor. But we can suggest vitamin D. Calcium in some parts, because calcium is also sometimes residents or elderly, if they are allergic to milk, and if their needs are not met through the diet alone, then we ask our doctor to prescribe or suggest the calcium supplements. Yeah, so these 2 are the main ones. But the rest of the vitamins and minerals, we try to make sure that our menu is meeting the most of the needs through the food.
Yes. Thank you again, Nadia. We have a few more questions. Hopefully you okay
Yeah,
to
that's
answer. Okay, so what is the recommended calcium intake for seniors 85 plus?
So it's a recommendation for seniors after, I think, 65 or 75 older. Like it's the same as the teenager requirement, I would say, if you can go by the comparison. So whatever the teenagers require, the elderly requirement is the same. So it's about 1,200 milligram for older adults in a day. That's why it's very important to have the beverage intake from the calcium sources to meet the adequate calcium intake. It's very important for the bone health and for the teeth, because that is helping, and along with the vitamin D part, because if there is no vitamin D, then the calcium will not gonna absorb properly.
Yeah. Okay, and sorry, I missed one question. Have rising food costs brought special challenges to long-term care home? How does Ivan Franko home deal with it?
Yeah. So, Tatiana, I think you can also help me in that one, because this is something which we challenge a lot while creating a menu, because we would like to serve the better quality, and of course with the variety of the food, and the food cost has increased significantly. Even we have increased that portion from some amount in our meals, but still we are always not fulfill that, but we always over the budget mostly. So yeah, I would try to manage it by adding the healthier options. Also, there are certain soy protein options is also one of the things which we are thinking to put it on for cost effectiveness. Also, it has the same amount of protein by adding it our menu, so it will be cost effective plus also nutritionally dense. As well. So yes, it is very challenging sometimes in order to be into the budget, but we always always on that, right?
Yeah, we're doing our best, and our home, we always have like good food. Like we have no complaints basically. Like people always happy to have our meals. Ukrainian
Absolutely, yes.
cuisine, yeah.
All of the residents, I have a very good feedback that they love the food and they enjoy the meal.
Yeah, so okay, so next question. Should seniors consume vitamin C in supplements or in fruits like strawberries, oranges, etc.?
Exactly. It's a very wonderful question. Yes, vitamin C is boosting the immune system. So it's something which is need to be considered. So in order to fulfill this, that's why our menu makes sure that it has all the fresh fruits, especially during the summertime. We make sure that we have the fresh oranges and strawberries in our menu, or at least we have the juices like orange juice. Make sure that we can have it every day to fulfill their requirement of vitamin C. And our menu has actually provided with the fruit options and the juice in the juice form.
Yeah. Thank you very much, Nadia. We have a question in Ukrainian from Pani Oля. So she asked if we can send our menu for her email. So our main menu is posted in our long-term care home, and you're always welcome to come and visit us, and we will show and introduce our menu and explain and answer all your questions. Ola, thank you for your question.
Sure. And I think it's posted over there as well in the dining area. We have a 3 weeks menu with a variety of different, it's a cyclic menu. So it's never been repeated. It's always 7 days, different menus, and it runs for 3 weeks. So it's a cyclic. So our residence has a variety of different options.
Okay, so we have a few more minutes. I see some questions. Okay, I hope I haven't missed anyone. Okay, so it is almost time to wrap up our session, and I would like to thank everyone for being with us tonight. Once the webinar has ended, you will receive a feedback request email. We kindly ask you to take a few minutes to participate in our survey. This feedback allows us to continue tailoring these segments to your webinar preferences. Thank you for attending our 13th virtual seminar. Happy Easter to those who celebrate Easter, and have a great evening, everyone. Дякую за увагу. До побачення.